All right, so what is going on, everyone, and welcome to the channel. And let me just start this video by saying, have you ever heard the old term about the best laid plans? Something about, you lay out your plans, you got everything in place and figured out what you're going to do, and then something comes along and throws a monkey wrench into it. And that's kind of the case here. But it's my own fault. I do admit it is my own fault because I just can't stay offline. I just can't keep from looking at vehicles that are out there. And so really I'm a victim of my own obsession. I admit that. But in my defense, I was looking for vehicles to trade, and that's the thing. And then the last video I talked about this. I was really looking for trades. I've got a lot of trades right now lined up, and my hope was to do some trading, get a couple new vehicles in the shop, and maybe even get a couple bucks in my pocket if everything worked out right. And then along comes this vehicle behind the camera, and everything changes for me. So, but let me just say this. I've been looking to add another Mopar to my collection for some time now, and I really do like the second generation Dodge Charger. 68 to 70 to me is just a beautiful body style, and of course I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard, so yeah, you guys already know what I'm talking about. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a 1968 Dodge Charger General Lee replica. Yep, I did that. So, and don't get me wrong, I did ask the guy that was selling it if he wanted to trade. He was kind of on the fence about it, but he really rather have cash. And I just couldn't pass it up. I've wanted a General Lee for a long time, and this fit the bill and really the pocketbook quite well. Now you might be saying, okay, there's something a little different about that General Lee. It sits a little higher, it's got all-terrain tires on it. That's because this is actually a four-wheel drive. That's right, a four-wheel drive. So apparently at some point in time on the Dukes of Hazzard, there was an episode, and I believe it was called Arrest Jesse Duke. And apparently they transformed the General Lee into a four-wheel drive in order to chase the bad guys who were driving Jeeps around. So the individual that built this decided that he wanted his very own four-wheel drive General Lee. So what he did is he took a kind of a rougher 68 Charger body and put it on a 2000 Dodge Durango frame. So all the running gear, interior, everything is Dodge Durango in this thing, just the exterior looks like a 68 Charger. So kind of, I don't know, some people might not like that too much, but it's kind of cool in a sense because it's got fuel injection, it's got heat and air, it's got power steering, power brakes, discs, it's got analog brakes, it's got cruise control, it's got a lot of the conveniences, and it actually sounds really, really good, all things considered. So let me walk you around the car and show you what it's all about. Start here at the front. You'll notice the headlight doors are up. That is one of the projects that Eddie has to tackle when he gets it over to the workshop. Got to get those headlight doors working because truly Chargers look best when the headlight doors are down. See, it's got basically a semblance of the right rims. It's got the 01, Confederate flag, General Lee on top. The paint is, it's decent. It's hard to see in this light, but it's got a few little dings in there. It's not great, it's not awesome, but I'll show you the awesome thing about this car. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if the camera will focus in on it or not, but it's got signatures from most of the cast members. There's Bo, Daisy, Luke, Cletus, Enos, Cooter, and James Best, who of course was Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. Come around here and let's go inside and you will see what I mean about Dodge Durango. Yeah. While the door panels say 68 Dodge Charger, the seats, the dash, steering wheel, even the back seats are all out of the Durango. I think it's kind of cool. It made for a nice drive home. This vehicle was only about an hour away from me, so Eddie and I went over and picked it up a couple of days ago. Drove it back with no problems. It was cruising at freeway speeds very comfortably. As I said, there are a couple of things to do to it in addition to the headlight doors. Definitely got to get the Dixie horn working. It does have one, just doesn't work. And yeah, a few odds and ends, like the tire on the passenger side, kind of the way the axle is lined up right now, it actually scrapes just a little bit when you go over a bump or accelerate with any enthusiasm whatsoever. So that needs to be fixed. I'll probably end up putting some different wheels and tires on this. I will probably end up painting this thing and putting decals back on it and everything like that. And I will probably do a little bit of interior work on it just to get everything matching and kind of cleaned up. It's got some rough areas in it, and just basically just some cleanup and make it look very nice and presentable. The way you're seeing this car right now is exactly the way I got it. It's been out in the rain, it's dirty, it's kind of grungy, and I haven't done any detailing or anything like that, but this is the way I got it. So under the hood, you can see it is all Dodge Durango. It's the 4.7 liter, at least the V8, so it is the Dodge Magnum V8. Unfortunately, it's not like the 5.9, the bigger one they had in the RTs, but you know, it needs a little cleaning, a little detail work, that type of thing. Like I said, a few little odds and ends to do to it. Got the push bumper up front, which is kind of cool, and definitely a heavy duty front bumper, as you can see. But yeah, it's kind of like Kit, you know, just brings back the memories when I was a kid watching the show. And I really did watch this show even more than Knight Rider, to be honest with you. Liked them both, but this is just such a cool car, so iconic for the day. I can remember being like 7th, 8th, 9th grade watching this show and just loving it. So it's kind of a trip, and yeah, I think we should take it out for a little drive. Maybe run around the block and just, you can see how it rides, how it sounds. All right, let's start her up. It's got a pretty good rumble. I don't know what it's got for exhaust. We haven't gotten it on the lift and checked it out yet, but I will say, from what I remember of watching the TV series, when you step on this thing, you can definitely hear the same tone. It's very reminiscent of it. So let's get out on the road. Now the first thing I'm going to say about this vehicle is it has a very bouncy and rough ride, very stiff. I know it's got air shocks in the back. I'm thinking that maybe once I get some different tires on it, we can maybe take some pressure out of the air shocks, make some adjustments, and get it to where it rides a little smoother. Don't think the Durango really rode quite this stiff, but you know, a lot of engineering and time went into building this. I researched this car. Let's go this way. And from what I understand, someone in Florida actually built it. And it's changed hands numerous times since it was built back in, I think, 2013. The chassis itself has 135,000 miles on it. So, you know, for what I'm going to drive it, it should be fine. I know it moved around. At one point in time, it was for sale in Seattle, Washington. It was on eBay for a while. I've seen this vehicle before for sale, but I don't remember where exactly. It's just by chance I ran across it. I think basically the first day it came online, and I jumped on it. The guy I got it off of said that he had a lot of people that were interested in it, but you know, I first to show it with cash, so I think it's really kind of cool. Like I said, bugs to be worked out, but this is going to be a longer term vehicle for me. I don't really see getting rid of this one, so I'm willing to put some money into it. Might just take a little bit of time. It's definitely not fast. Anybody who's familiar with the Durango with the 4.7 knows it's not fast. It's four-wheel drive on top of that, so I haven't tested out the four-wheel drive. I probably won't. I don't care. This thing's not going off-road. Never going to be in a situation where I'm going to need four-wheel drive. And like I said, I can't even really get on it because it'll start scraping the tires. See right there, just scrapes the tires. That was me. Say, luckily it's not scraping the tires where I think it's doing any like permanent damage or any real major damage to the tire or anything like that. But one of the first things I'm going to do after Eddie does his tweaks is get some different wheels and tires on it. I'm going to get a front end alignment because the steering is definitely off center. And it does tend to kind of road walk a little bit. At least that's what my dad used to call it. Basically, it's kind of all over the place. So you got to hold on to it. But with this drivetrain, it cruises very nicely at 70, 75 without any really big deal. So, and it's just such a trip to be, you guys can't see because that way I got the camera set up, but looking out over that hood is just huge. This thing's huge, and sitting up a little higher than a normal Dodge Charger would, it's just huge. I think it might be one of the most bizarre vehicles I've bought. Maybe next to the hearse. The hearse was kind of bizarre, but this one's kind of bizarre and different and quirky in its own way. I feel kind of lucky to have found it because this is different than any other General Lee out there. Not that you see a ton of them out there, but it is different with the four-wheel drive. And then I haven't been able to find one other that's built on a Durango frame with Durango running gear and Durango interior and everything like that. So kind of cool, kind of a unique addition to the shop, I think. So I tried to get a hold of the guy that actually built this. I was able to find where he was advertising it. I haven't heard anything back from him yet. I think it would be great just to be able to talk to him and kind of see what tweaks and things he did, just to have some insights on the car. But I actually think it's really cool. Like I said, I've got projects and things I want to do to it, so I will definitely be taking you guys along on that. I'm really happy to have another Mopar. I'm really happy to have a 68 Dodge Charger. Especially General Lee. I just think that's cool, but I'll definitely take you guys along. I don't know if you guys even saw, but even got the CB. Really cool, huh? So, but I'll definitely take you guys along as I'm doing stuff to this car and tweaking with it and everything like that. I do still have some trades out there that are available right now, some things I'm looking at, so there might be a couple more vehicles coming into the shop at some point in time. I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. You'll also notice I've been uploading a little bit more. That's because, well, I work for the school district and school's out right now, so I got a little more time on my hands. So I will be uploading a little bit more, at least until I go back to work. So, you know, that's kind of a positive thing. But yeah, let me know. What do you think about this? Is it cool? Is it sacrilegious? Somewhere in between. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your insights on the vehicle. And, you know, with that, I'm going to end it. So as always, if you do like the video, definitely give me a like, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Don't forget to share the video and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I would really appreciate it. All my pertinent information, such as my Instagram, PO Box, and Venmo, will be in the description below. And you know what? God bless. Take care. Yeehaw.